is the Glass Cannon Network.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Joe's Gonna Stream on the Glass Cannon Network. And I have got a special guest today. Look at this! The one and only Abu Salim, the Glass Cannon Network's own Abu Salim.
Dude, man, I genuinely feel like I'm at home anyway, so this is totally normal, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is the normal routine. We connected just briefly yesterday for like a little tech check and make sure that stuff was working. By the way, let us know if it's not working. Let us know if you're hearing any issues with the mics or anything. But we did a little tech check, and Abu was like, "Oh, just getting my normal Glass Cannon setup ready. Got to get my Glass Cannon mic. Got to get my," and it was good to do it with somebody who, you know, we've been in the groove with before. So
yeah.
But this is definitely a different kind of situation because Abu, unbeknownst to me, for years, secretly behind the scenes, has been developing a video game, and this is an amazing opportunity for me. As I was just telling Abu before we went live here, that I am just so excited at the prospect of talking to somebody who actually made a video game. I've never done anything quite like that before, and I'm so interested to hear about it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to play the newly released demo of Tales of Kenzera, ZAU, which is Abu's game. Abu is the creative director of that game, and we are going to... he's going to watch me stink at it. I don't know. We're going to play it, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to find out.
And I'm not going to be backseat driving as well, man. I do it all the time. I see it. I feel it. Because every time I'm like watching someone, I'm like, no, jump there. Jump,
yeah, exactly. Jump! Just go left. Just go left.
just go left. But you know what? It's fine, man. I have faith in you. I have absolute faith in you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Before we jump right, by the way, thanks for tuning in live. K-Rob and Hat On Button Russ and everybody. Twerking time. How exciting is this to have Abu, guys? Abu is here today. This is awesome. Before we hop in, which we're just going to do in a second, I do want you to just very briefly give everybody a brief picture of what this is. What is this project in general, and what is your role in it? I put on the title that you're the creative director. What does that mean? So just give us just a brief picture of this, and then we're going to go in and start playing as we answer more questions.
Absolutely. So look, the game is a sort of action adventure platformer, which is, you know, very inspired by Metroidvanias, that follows this young kid who makes a deal with the god of death, Kalunga, to bring his father back. And I crafted and created this story really truly as a reaction to having lost my own father 10 years ago. It was something that I knew that I wanted to share in some way, shape, or form. I didn't really know what medium I wanted to do it in at the time, but it naturally just sort of made sense to do it in a game because, I mean, as most people know, like I'm a huge gamer. Like I prefer games over film, TV, like everything, man. Like it's my thing. And so it felt right to sort of honor my father's memory through a video game. And essentially, yeah, I conjured this idea while I was filming Raised by Wolves at the time in South Africa. It kind of just came to me as I was sort of playing Dead Cells at the time.
Oh man, yeah, love Dead Cells.
Man, I love it, and it just sort of the feeling of playing again. I think that was the first like sort of side scroller, like 2D side scroller that I played in ages. And I think the last time I remember playing one was probably, you know, with my dad, like, you know, the Sonic or something like that when I was a kid. So because it just didn't really come to me. So then that kind of feeling sort of ignited this drive to make this game, to strive to create this game. And so yeah, now like cut to 2024, this game's coming out like in 2 months. I'm sort of like,
and you're not stressed at all. And you're not stressed at all.
No, not at all. I'm not stressed at all. He says, sweating profusely. Like,
oh, I can't even imagine. Well, we're going to get into it. We're going to find out, how, you know, what it takes to put a video game together, and I'm so excited to do that. Well, let's do it while we play the game. You know, without any further ado, I want to get in here and I want to start playing. So, I guess the one thing I'll say is what I didn't realize, and what's so amazing from what you just said there, is how this truly does come out of nothing. You imagined this project, you started to put the pieces together in your head as something you wanted to do, and then by force of will, you just made it happen. But it takes a village, and we're gonna find out all about that. So let's get in. Let's start the game. But it is very very exciting to know that you have this idea, and then you put the work in, and you can get it done. It's just thrilling. All right, let's see if we can get this to work here. Okay, here is our title screen, and it's so beautiful, Abu. I mean, look at this art.
Oh man, you know what's funny? Again, so this title screen came from the idea again of sort of trying to pay homage to the games that I used to play as a kid, and the one title screen that has always stayed with me is Kingdom Hearts. And when I started that game, I was like, you know what, this is a beautiful screen, and I wanted to sort of emulate that here. And yeah, this is kind of what we kind of conjured and crafted. I remember we were talking about essentially, should it be 3D? Should it be moving? Should it be this? And we were like, actually, no, just go simple, man. Go real simple, real artistic, and just do that. And here we are.
I love it. I love it. So does Gillian in chat. Says beautiful. Hat says art is amazing.
Amazing.
And then obviously you guys heard it in the countdown. Those of you that were here a little early, the music is amazing too. So let's jump in. Let's begin a new journey.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
It's really happening. It's really happening. And you know it must be nice. There's no bugs in the demo, right? None at all.
Oh, get out, man. Oh, dude, man, seriously. It says like, forgive any bugs, because, oh man, you know what? It is literally like giving a baby over, and it's just like, yeah, take care of it. It's. Anyway, we'll do this, man.
I love this line. I mean, that's incredible. It truly does. It touches like how many people touch our lives, right? This
is what I mean, man. It is incredible. For them. Every story begins at the end of another.
Guys, let me know if you need more game audio ever. Just let me know. I have it where I think is right, but...
The shaman's path is one of healing, one of guiding.
I recorded these lines
Yet,
under a duvet.
how does a shaman
here.
His duties
Get out of here!
I swear to God, these lines right now, this opening, because I was like, we need an opening. We need to guide the player somewhere or something. And I was like, all right, I'll write these up. And I just went under, recorded it. The animator was like, cool, craft something up real fast. And yeah, here we are.
God of death.
Now, Baba, is that Swahili?
Yeah, it's a way of, it's an African way essentially of calling your father Baba. Yeah, Baba. It's in Swahili, it means father as well, but a lot of cultures essentially call their fathers Baba.
Baba. It takes me back to did you ever play Civilization games?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Do you remember Civilization? If you remember, Civilization 4 had an incredible opening. An incredible piece called Baba Yetu that was...
Yeah, Baba Yetu, yeah.
I believe it was like Christopher Tin, I think, is the composer, but it's just an amazing song. And I was so into it, I looked it up, and it was like, that means our father, Baba Yetu.
Baba Yetu, yeah.
Meaning like the earth, right? It's just really, really cool. Kalunga, God of Death, Guardian of the Veil.
Hey, Sydney.
Sid's here?
Yeah, man.
Sid wants the BTS secrets.
Asking for the secrets, man, like for real.
Somebody else asked, who is your composer?
Oh, Nanita Desai. Oh my God.
Travis Bauer asked.
Yeah, she went in. Nanita is
ZAU,
just a
phenomenal
musician and composer. She just, I literally just, I remember with her and Rob, who's our lead sort of technical audio guy. We conjured this idea of basically saying, look, we want the music to feel like a clash of cultures, the clash of like sort of the modern, but also the traditional, this idea of these two different, people, the father and the son.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, okay. And then she brings out like some of the coolest tracks we've ever heard. Like, this is just the beginning, man. Like it truly she really went in. Like some of the boss music and the fight music is like just on another level.
Can't wait. Oh God, I gotta get to it. All right. So Twerkin, thank you for the gifted subs. That's awesome. Greatly appreciate it. And Skid's here too, buddy. That's Murdertron 3000 is Skid.
Brilliant.
So who is Kalunga? Is this the god of death?
Yes, Kalunga is in mainly from Congolese sort of mythology. Kalunga is essentially like Hades. So Kalunga is also a place as well as an actual individual. And so Kalunga, right, is this sort of the god of death, is the guardian between the realm of the living and the dead, and that's, you know, the character that you'll journey with along you know, sort of the world of Kenzera as a whole.
It is told that there are 3 great spirits who have denied you, and if a shaman can cross your veil, having shepherded these spirits with death in tow.
Great favor by death, true wealth bestowed. I know the tale.
Now, ZAU is a shaman. Was his father a shaman, and this was passed down to him? Okay.
Yeah, his father was a shaman, and this was passed down to him. And essentially, what it means is it's that whole thing of, like, I think from, you know, mainly pulling as well from like my sort of tradition and my family. So my grandfather was an Nganga, which is essentially like a traditional healer, and that is then, you know, he was able to sort of, as they say, communicate with the spirits and talk to spirits, right? And that's supposed to be passed down to, you know, his children, and then his children pass it down. My father decided, was like, this ain't for me. So, you know,
I'm gonna play Sonic the Hedgehog with my son.
Literally, he was like, I'm gonna play Sonic the Hedgehog and, you know, learn about computer science and leave. But it's funny because, you know, my dad named me after my grandfather, and like what's apparently said within our sort of family is like, I've got that natural gift of talking to spirits. I mean, I'm not necessarily going to, you know, tell my family that, because they probably look at me like, huh? But you know, it's that is essentially what we try to emulate here. This idea that ZAU has been bestowed this, you know, essentially the gift of what his father had. As a shock, you know, not the responsibility that he was supposed to have yet, and now he's thrown into this, you know.
My Baba, a sickness plagued him. You have taken his soul, and I am here to reclaim it back.
Wow, bold.
I seek my Baba's return in exchange for these spirits.
Okay, so we'll get the spirits in order to purchase back, essentially, right? Your father.
I know what is at stake.
In exchange, yeah.
What do you truly? All I see before me is a boy. A desperate boy with a desperate plea.
I am a shaman.
Yes, exactly. Like Hades in Greek mythos. It's a sweet threat.
I can do this, Kalunga. Yeah. I know I can.
Words carry little weight against the strength of action. But you have spirit. This much is true. We go east.
No, this game is scheduled to come out in April. Is the release date. You released this demo, and so we can give it a shot, which is awesome. It's free. If anybody wants to download and try it out on Steam, it's free, which is amazing. Is everything, like, are all your audio for the game, is it all done? Is it all recorded at this point, man, when you're like 3 months out?
Everything's recorded and done. Yeah, man, everything's done. It is literally now just refining and clearing out bugs and optimizing and making sure that the experience is good. You know, we didn't plan on giving a demo. We actually just, you know, we saw the love for it after the Game Awards announcement, and we were just like, guys, we've got to do this. We've got to, like, give them something to hold and play. And
it's just smart. So you said that you said your grandfather was an Nganga. Nganga, yeah. Nganga. And so is this sort of an interchangeable word for shaman in this case?
For shaman, in a way. Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. When I was young, my Baba would bring me here, to Patakatifu.
Is that a name of a place? Patakatifu?
Yeah, Patakatifu, which in Swahili means sanctuary.
Oh, my Baba would tell me the tales, great tales, wondrous tales of the great spirits of this land. And every time we passed through these crossroads, I would look at them and wonder if I would ever be so lucky to be graced with their presence.
Now you look at them and are reminded of the reality and challenge that befalls you. This daunting task of facing the great spirits.
No. I am reminded of my Baba.
That's beautiful. So
this is something that will
Sorry.
also change, by the way. Every time that you've accomplished like a major goal, you can come back to talk to Kalunga to reflect upon
its meaning.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And so, all right, let's. Oh, and he disappears. Very cool. All right, so it is a true platformer here. Let's talk about that for a second. Why the 2D platformer? You could go a lot of different ways. When you're starting from scratch, how do you start narrowing it down, right?
I know, because it reminded me of the games I used to play with my father. Like, a lot of the games I played was like Sonic or Mario, and there were these, you know, running from left to right or right to left. And when I played Dead Cells, it kind of evoked that feeling again. And
you know, it's so funny you say that. I had the same feeling with Dead Cells because I had not played a platform of that style for years and years and years before I played. I just got into shooters, right? And then I got into like isometric RPGs and stuff like that. And I was like, it had been so long. And yeah, Dead Cells, I was like, oh man, this is bringing it all back.
Yeah. So this is essentially why, you know, why the 2D.
Oh, okay, locked door.
Not yet, mate.
Not yet, all right.
The Metroidvania genre.
Welcome to the Metroidvania genre. Okay, I already love the change in the music. It, like, the beat comes up a little bit.
Yeah.
Malicious and deadly spirits roam the land of Kenzera. Use the power of the masks to defeat them. The masks. The Mask of the Moon excels in both long-range attack and crowd control techniques. Press X to perform a light attack. All right. That guy stunk. All right, here we go. All right, so it's shooting where I aim, which is awesome. Like you can kind of do a diagonal up shot.
Yeah, you can also actually manually aim as well.
Oh. I thought that's what I was doing. No?
No, so you've got to... Again, this is me. You got to discover it, Joe.
oh, left trigger. I see. Okay,
see?
sorry.
Discovering it. God damn it!
There we go. Sorry. All right. We're getting the hang of this. Oh, the heavy attack feels nice.
Good, huh?
Yeah. It does. Like, ooh. So, you know, I love talking about the physics of games, right? Like how heavy you feel and how light you might feel on your feet in a certain situation. Oh, up to heal.
Can't do it yet. That's a bug. Thanks, Joe, for highlighting that.
Oh, okay.
It's great.
Do I have to take this guy out? Do I have to take this guy out first? Is that the deal?
Yeah. It's part of the tutorial way of going about it, like learning.
You wield a powerful mask.
I use the mask to channel my power. It is the mask of the moon. Baba taught me the ways. Graceful.
All right, so he already had this power. Kalunga didn't grant him this as part of the mission. No, he had the mask of the moon.
These are the masks that his Baba have given him. But yet it does essentially not make you passed down to him.
Got it.
You are injured. You must heal.
I am fine.
What's up, Two Random Words? Thanks for coming by. And Jet with two N's is here. Hello, hello.
Run the lion.
Maybe you're right. Fine.
That's awesome. Inflicting damage against enemies. Rewards that with spirit. Press up to heal. Healing consumes spirit. Okay. Awesome.
Boom.
All right, so that's those two bars at the bottom is spirit.
Yeah.
So you basically earn it by hitting when you hit.
Fighting or being hit, and essentially you'll get more spirit or more hits. Like optionally, if you take part in like different challenges and different trials and stuff, that's also part and parcel of it all too.
All right, so sorry, before we got into that healing fiasco, I wanted to ask you about like how do you determine? So were you involved in determining things like the feel of the weight of the character, how high you jump, like that specific, or is that something you pass off to a game developer and just kind of like let them do their thing?
It's a bit of both, right? I think a lot of the team themselves had a lot of agency in regards to figuring that out. You know, one thing that I really was clear on is I wanted it to feel reactive, feel fast, feel nimble. You know, he's a young kid. He's determined. So elements of that then affect how he runs with that lean forward, that idea of wanting to, you know, jump and the part and parcel it plays with that, but it's ultimately really truly the developers who get into the system and tweak and tune all that stuff. But I was, you know, very hands-on and essentially said, you know, whether it felt good, whether we wanted more speed, whether we wanted less speed, that kind of stuff.
So you'd sit down with a demo of your own that's what, extremely pared down?
Oh,
like, it doesn't have these all these graphics, but it does
not
have
at all, dude. No,
the physics.
It's the physics of it all. Like, we were playing with like the very kind of bog standard, like Unreal, like character to begin with. That was our first, you know, character. Then we would get the model of ZAU in and rig ZAU and then animate ZAU, and it was all, you know, it all plays part of it. The audio, the movement, the feeling, like whether you stop ZAU, you know, if you stop moving him to the left or right, whether he does look a little skid or whether he instantly stops, like those small details have such an effect on feel that we really wanted to kind of nail down as soon as possible, you know?
Wow. So, but you didn't know anything about this testing process or how it would work when you set out, right? Yeah.
I literally was like, this is the game, let's make it. And the team were like, okay, but we have to go through a process. And I'm like, sure, whatever, let's do it. And as we kind of went on, I was learning as we went on as well.
So how do you begin the process of identifying a team? Oh, okay, so sorry, real quick. So I can switch, so I can do like ranged when I need it, or I can switch to melee. Oh, that's such an easy switch. That's awesome.
Yeah, the idea was, again, to capture this sort of fast element of it all. Like, rather than have a weapon wheel where you have to select it slowly and manually, we wanted to play with this idea of being able to switch fast between two masks and you know, have that effect of being able to kind of do some really cool combos. Like, you could launch an enemy up in the air with the red mask and then switch to your blue and then fire them and juggle them up that way, and all that kind of stuff is what we wanted to really play with as a whole.
Yes.
But yeah, so it was, it's all part and parcel of, again, what makes the game unique, or what makes it feel like this is the one, you know.
Yeah, you haven't played anything like this before. Yeah.
You can become stronger.
So how about something as little as like there's a limit to how many ranged light attacks you can make before you kind of burn out. So who decides that? How does that?
Oh man, again, it's the designers in the team as well as me. Like, you know, we played with so many different types. We played with 5, we played with 6, we played with 12, we played with 8, we played with like what feels right, and it's all a balance, right? You've got to balance it so it feels like the player has enough that they don't feel cheated, but you know, also at the same time, it's, you know, you want to add that progression. So like, even one of the skills that you can unlock is unlock more shots and, you know, feel good about it. So it's
brilliant.
all, you know, that element of it all as well. Like, you want it to feel good, but you also don't want to feel overpowered, right? So yeah, it's like, I mean, dude, everything from even like the look of these eulogy counters, like those big pots, to, you know, the background, to everything. We had to go and like there was a lot of work, a hell of a lot of work, but also a lot of trust that needed to be put onto the team in order to, you know, to deliver. And that's the beautiful thing about this team. Like, they're so synergistic in the sense that we work brilliantly together, and we all enjoy it. I think that's what's really been a real fun process, is building this team that essentially work really well with one another and deliver something that feels like it's part of that universe or part of that world.
That's so cool. So just gonna say, all right,
you're doing really good, by the way, man. Like,
thanks, man.
This is really impressive, man.
So the meter at the upper right, that's the purple stuff I'm collecting, and so that's going to unlock like a talent tree kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like, when I get to 1, I'll get a skill point that I can put into something?
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, well, that is satisfying.
I know.
Oh, that's
really man. Cool. Again, like a last-minute addition by like the team. They were like, we should make this like break as you kind of hit it. And I was like, that's a great idea.
It is a great idea.
It feel good, man. you're doing great, man.
Oh shoot! I stunned him, but is there a block or a parry?
Yes, you'll be able to unlock an ability that allows you to deflect range attacks. You will also unlock an ability, which is one of my, actually, I used to hate it to begin with, but now it's like one of my favorite, where you're able to grab an enemy and throw them in whatever direction you want.
Oh, awesome.
So, it's like all this part and parcel of like wanting to make an experience that feels fun, but also gives you all these different opportunities of how to defeat an enemy. You know, something that we really wanted to play with as well was this idea of a kill equation, right? And
I'm sorry, say that again. What?
A kill equation. So as dark as it sounds, like it's like what ways can you defeat an enemy or an obstacle, and how many ways are there to do it? If it's only just one way, for example, like I can only hit them with the red mask, for example, and kill them with like a light attack. It's kind of boring. So you want to have a few different ones, but ultimately there's always the one that is like the optimum way of defeating the enemy. And that's something that we really wanted to play with as well with each and every enemy, is like look at what their kill equation is and see what's the best way of defeating them in order to achieve the goal that you need to achieve.
Is this going to break the bridge?
Yeah, that's going to break it.
Yes! Oh, that's awesome. That was really cool. Do you take falling damage? Let's find out.
No, you don't.
Oh, sweet. Love that.
Yeah.
Oh, another one of these dope walls.
A floating griot idol. Do you feel that too? That's energy.
So griots in African cultures are essentially oral storytellers. They're the ones who hold these stories that they go around and tell people these cool myths and stories, and essentially that's what these griot idols are based off of. But really their sole purpose in the game is to remind the player that they're in a story, that they're in a game. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're playing as ZAU in this, but really truly you're actually playing as Zuberi. Zuberi is actually the character who's reading this book, which was given to him by his father, because his father was a writer and he had written this book based on this character of ZAU, and that all happens at the beginning of the game.
Okay, so that's not in the demo. We just cut right
No, it's not in the demo. In the demo we wanted to throw you straight into the action of it all.
That's great.
Yeah.
But it still has enough like lore-ish stuff in the demo to get you invested in what you're trying to accomplish here, you know?
Yeah. So something like this, for example, like if you can open the menu, you'll be able to access the codex for the Meeting of Death.
Can you destroy the environment at all?
No, not this one. But yeah, open the menu. Go to the codex. So not that one.
Not
the
this
other
one. This one.
Yeah, there you go. And then if you go all the way to the right,
oh, there's my skill tree.
Yeah, those are your skill tree.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So that's a sun line and a moon line. Oh, yeah, amazing. Okay.
And then you can unlock trinkets as well, which will affect your play style as well. That will kind of, those can be unlocked. So yeah, so this is like where we go into a bit more lore of the characters and the buyers and who they are and whatnot.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Amandla.
So, yeah.
Okay. Loss of Baba. Okay. Oh, sorry. And then that's Kalunga.
And then if you go to if you press RT, you should be able to access also the other. So if you go back from here and then press RT, you can know
so this is your creature.
All the enemies have all the lore as well, and like this was something as well we wanted to paint this picture of. And then if you go again, you'll see the locations and all this sort of stuff, and yeah.
Wow. So are a lot of these creatures, are they based in African myth?
Some of them are. So the Tokolosh is one that is folklore. Yeah, so the Tokolosh is one. Impundulu, Gagorib, the Kikiaun, the Namib. They're all kind of sort of these African creatures or these mythological creatures. So yeah, this is what you've unlocked essentially, and you'll be able to play it, and you can actually listen to essentially me reading this piece again, reminding the player that they're in a book.
Something tangible.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. And then tutorials. Wow, this is so deep. And I love the, honestly, man, I love the triangle layout. I think it's just such a cool way to lay out the...
Nice, man, isn't it? Yeah, it's really well done.
Very cool, very cool.
Again, the team are just awesome, man. The team have really pulled something cool, man.
Okay. How come this jump is different? Like, what is different about this jump as opposed to this jump mechanically? Like,
nothing. It's really just it's just more of a sense. Again, so this is the thing, right? So something that we wanted to do is capture that sense of what is, you know, for example, like the jumps, they needed to be the same because you'd be switching them on the fly so fast that you want to be able to kind of, there is no difference in speed or anything like that. There might be the illusion of a difference, but really, truly, there isn't. But elements of combat, elements of, you know, abilities, they are all different depending on the master that you have, which affects that as well.
Got it. Am I going the wrong way here? Uh-oh.
No, you're going right, man.
Okay. Oh, here, and there's that change in the music you were talking about. Awesome. Yeah. Press L and R to perform a spirit attack. These powerful attacks cost 2 spirit segments. All right, so I'm doing my what I always call my limit break, right? So I'm going to do my charged attack is that I need to do that instead of healing. That uses the same resource that healing uses.
You have the choice now whether you're going to use either the spirit attack to do something cool and finish an enemy quicker, or you got to heal. We wanted to present that kind of choice, that dilemma to the player.
That's great. The Mask of the Moon spirit attack is a lunar blast. Yes, please. A devastating energy beam. Awesome. And then the Mask of the Sun spirit is a supernova. Transforms out into a towering inferno of shamanistic fire. Oh, man. All right, let's put it to the chat. What do you guys want to see first? Do you want to see a lunar blast or the Sun spirit supernova? Meanwhile, I want to bounce off of Michaela Dawn here, said the demo is PC, but the full game is PC, Switch, PS5, and Xbox. How do you come to a decision when you're building the game where it's going to be available, and what differences go into its development to change the platform?
To be honest, it's all down to the tech, right? To the tech of the actual console itself. So a lot of it can kind of be ported to the same one. I think the hardest was going down to Switch, which, you know, is as most people know, is it's actually the actual tech itself is, I mean, the brilliance of it is the fact that you can take it handheld and also play it on your TV, right? But trying to find that balance is always the tricky part. So really, for me and the team, it was a sense of like, how do we get this in as many hands as possible, you know? And that is essentially the only way that we could do it is by doing it on every console. So that's essentially what we wanted to aim for. That was very cool.
That was awesome. And then switch it. I really like this. Oh dear, I gotta get out of here. I really like this heavy attack up into the hits in the air. That is just so fun.
Yeah.
And then switch to range. Oh, jump back.
Oh, that was dope. That was really cool.
You know what that was like, man? That was like a John Woo movie. It was just like you jump backwards, firing your 2 pistols, like bang, 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 bang. Actually, I'm kind of hurt here. I'm like talking shit. I'm like hurt.
Oh man.
So you use up your ranged until you're out of hits, and then switch to Sun, and
that's exactly it.
Oh, and I can heal. I got 2 spirit points.
Like, yeah, okay. And while your range is also reloading, so that's the trick that most people don't necessarily know. Is like, you know, and that's kind of almost like the dance. It's like when you finish with one, go into the other, and that's almost like the optimum way of kind of defeating an enemy rather than using just one mask.
Yes,
and that's what's really exciting and cool to kind of play with.
This is the road to Ikakaramba.
I am absolutely getting this game on Switch. This seems like a great game to be able to travel with, you know?
That's something as well that we, you know, I was really kind of keen on and wanting to, you know, sort of push for as well.
This will not be easy, Shaman. Those before you have tried and failed.
I love how Kalunga is so human, right?
Yeah.
Like he just seems like someone like a wise person you just is talking to. It's really cool.
And this is the thing, like most kind of creatures and deities especially in African folklore that you sort of interact with are very grounded, are very human, you know. Some are tricksters, you know, but ultimately they are they're not like conniving. Well, they are conniving, but they're not like omnipresent, you know. They are almost relatable, you know.
Yes. During a light attack combo, pressing X at the perfect time grants increased damage on the next strike. So far, I think I would use the sun more often. I like being kind of up in it, but
cool.
Does that mean on like the third attack? If you hit it exactly on the third attack, or
no, it's on any attack. So there is this is again something that we're also working on in the final version. But at the moment, what's on it now? There is a small glint on your spear that if you press X at the right time, it will turn gold. So you can try it now. Did you see it? It's very small.
No. Oh, it's like that flash.
Yeah, you got to find the music of it in a way, or find the timing of it, and you should be able to do like more damage. More damage.
All right. Well, you know what? I love any ability that trains you, disciplines you to not button mash. Right? Like
that's the plan.
Yeah, and that's what I enjoy. All right, this is awesome. The directional.
The girl has a lilting voice. Give her a moment. Let her finish her melody.
I cannot wait. Hey,
this is beautiful. Look at this.
Move. So, wait.
Whoa. I just got chills. That was awesome. Oh, shit. I thought I was getting a scene. This is a whole thing. Oh, I'm trying to slow myself down. Oh!
No!
Got it.
Oh, my Lord, man.
Oh, this looked like a secret treasure would be up here, but there's nothing up here, Abu. Must be a bug. Must be a bug. Can't see. Ah!
Right. Oh, my Lord. Oh, there you go. There you go. See, you got it. You did it.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, right into the spikes.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. All right. So you can't jump. I think I'm feeling it.
Oh, beautiful.
Whoa. All right, I'm going to guess that that's like... Oh, spikes! Oh. Got over aggressive. I'm going to guess that that's some kind of like armor. Is that like the white bar you got to get through first, and then...
Some enemies have armor that you will... Essentially, because at the moment...
Oh, it's blocked. All right, sorry.
Yeah, you can interrupt, essentially, the enemy kind of animation, or stagger them, whereas those with the armor, you cannot. So it forces you to have to find another way of defeating them.
I really want to dash past them. There we go.
You can heal as well.
Good call.
So?
Ooh!
Every step, another obstacle, another obstruction. The gates.
He's mirroring my frustration. These spikes are a real pain in the ass, Kalunga. Come on, man. Can you do something about the spikes?
A shaman to be bested by a bridge.
It did not best.
It did. You are careless. Since we began, you have been so focused on reclaiming what you feel is yours that you disregard yourself, others, the very journey
your mind
itself.
Not on where you are, what you are doing.
That is not true. I'm doing this for my Baba.
Recklessly charging with abandon, scaring a little girl, endangering her life and yours. You do this for your Baba.
Oh shit, get the
You wish
smackdown.
to walk this path. Do it with respect.
Wait a minute, you didn't voice Kalunga, did you?
No.
Okay.
So a friend of mine did. But you know what's funny though? For I think a lot of the game, I had voiced both ZAU and Kalunga just to get an idea to hear how it sounds like, which is hilarious. But no, a good friend of mine, Tristan Dilala in Montreal, did Kalunga. I worked with him on Assassin's Creed Origins, and essentially was like, "Yep, this is the guy." And yeah, and we ended up working together again, which was really exciting.
Oh, that's really cool. I mean, I know you can appreciate it as a video game fan and a voice actor yourself. voice acting is just not something to skimp on in video games. It makes such a huge difference to the experience when the voices are not only good voices, but are well directed and you can tell the time was put into, you know, making it excellent.
Yeah.
I know this symbol. Greatness.
So this actual triangle, you'll see a lot of. It's actually again based off of one of the sort of the Bantu symbols of greatness, which essentially is what it, you know, what it means. We just did our own rendition of it. So yeah, it's something that we really wanted to kind of play with as well.
Not every challenge needs a challenger.
And I'll tell you what's harder, Sweet Threat, of either the game or me trying not to backseat drive Joe. It's definitely the backseat drive.
It's gotta be so hard. I can't even imagine.
Oh man, it's so hard.
Let's talk about the kind of amazing lore and folklore that comes into this game. Like, is this something you knew from, you know, things that were passed down from your family or so many years of this stuff, or did you do a lot of studying in order to start developing the lore?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. So really, truly, a lot of it is inspired by the stories that my dad would tell me of his father. And like, you know, the kind of the spirits that he would interact with and all these sort of stories. And it started from there. And then it went into me actually wanting to learn about essentially what my, you know, what all these other cultures and their stories, you know, the Zulu, the Xhosa, you know, the Yoruba, the, you know, all these mythologies which are so rich, and I was just like, I've got to, you know, try and implement them in this. Like, for example, like the Impundulu is very much a sort of a Zulu, sort of South African mythological lightning bird, and you know that was, you know, the Kikiawan is very much sort of East African. So pulling from all these different spaces, you cleared that challenge area very easily, my friend. I've got to say, like,
oh, well, thank you. You
kind of breeze through it, and you know. That's just made me think, right, when we go back, we're going to make it harder.
More spikes.
So thank you. Yeah. That was very good. But yeah, so that's essentially it. We pulled from all these different spaces, man, and we really wanted to. So yeah, this is a trinket, by the way.
Yeah.
So the trinkets will essentially affect your playstyle depending on what you have loaded in. You can also unlock more slots as well through the different challenges that you face. So yeah, but you can't put it in now. You can only do them at workbenches.
Damage inflicted by slamming enemies into each other or the environment is increased. Very cool.
I've seen these before. A shaman's trinket. See how delicate it is. Powerful.
Do I have a favorite? This was asked by Luna Scupida. Nice name. Do I have a favorite story from my father that he shared? Like one you always requested? That's a good one.
Very good question.
There was a funny question. There was a funny story my father used to tell me about this guy who apparently really annoyed. He was like the village idiot in a way, and apparently he sillily went to go and sleep under a baobab tree. And these baobab trees are like these upside down trees, right? They've got this massive hole in the middle of them. And what's said is, you know, you can connect to spirits by talking in these baobab trees. And that's what, you know, Ngangas used to do. But this guy, this village idiot, was like, you can't do that. I'll sleep in it. And then my dad said the next day he woke up and he was on top of the tree with all these goats around him. And essentially he had no idea how he got there naked. And I was like, what? And I used to love the way he used to kind of tell me this story. It's like completely normal, you know? Yeah, and he woke up naked on top of the tree, like silly idiot. Like, wow, okay, that isn't in the game, but like,
yeah. That's great. What a great story though for a kid to hear. You know, he'd be like, what? All right, let me ask you a question. I'm always fascinated by lore, as anybody in chat knows that listens to our shows. I'm always like the lore junkie. A lot of times on our shows, it's like, would you drop it with the lore? Can we continue with the game, please? The Kalunga, the representation of Kalunga as the god of death, he doesn't seem like a god of death as much as a oversees the border between life and death kind of thing. Yeah, maybe because he's imparting so much wisdom, and he doesn't seem morally one way or the other. Like, is that kind of an accurate assessment?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, again,
he's not evil because he's the god of death. Like, that's what I'm saying.
This is the thing. It is all down to the perspective. That is something that, you know, we really wanted to lean into. You know, a lot of the times when these heroes would interact with these gods or these creatures, it's all down to the perspective of what they see from them, essentially, is kind of where we played into. And so, yeah, the god of death is, you know, to some terrifying, but to others, it's almost welcoming. And especially within, you know, a lot of African cultures, it's kind of seen as a way of, like, you know, death is just another part of life. You know, it's almost like a celebration of the passing to the next world. And so that's just, you know, that's something that we really wanted to kind of play into. Whether you accept it or not is another thing, you know?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Look at that guy jump up there. So this has like a so this is this kind of Metroidvania vibe where you're like, oh, I want to go off there because that seems like a side thing where I can
like
learn,
secret space.
get some bonus. Yeah.
And cool. Really, truly, like the idea of it, and the reason why we lent into the Metroidvania genre, as I probably have said before, is because I really wanted to.
Yes, it does.
I think it's like the perfect genre that represents grief. It's this idea of you're thrown into this world you have no idea about, you're learning about it, you know, it's sort of just a lot. But the longer you spend time in it, the longer you kind of get, you sort of get comfortable with it. And like, and that's kind of what a Metroidvania is, right? You never really feel safe, but you always will. But you'll get used to the world in which you're dealing with, and that's what grief is, right? And so that was something that we really wanted to play with. It's like you can explore these nooks and crannies of grief as you kind of go on this journey. So yeah, it's been a process.
Powerful, yeah. What an interesting thing to explore, grief, right? It's so personal and so different. You know, so unique for everybody and dangerous, right? Dangerous territory.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this up? There we go.
Nice.
I want to use. Oh, was it a little leprechaun-y kind of situation? What is this guy?
So those are
We're crossing folklore here.
Yeah.
Now you're talking to my people.
Yeah, these are Tokolosh, so they're like these little evil spirits that you get to encounter, and they're very kind of inspired by sort of South African sort of mythos.
Cool. Oh, please, more slow-mo on kill shots!
That's awesome. Circumstance. They have abandoned their jesting nature for spite. Do not underestimate them, ZAU.
Can I get up
Have
here?
I been able to play through the full version of the game asked by Sharky in the tent? Oh man, all the time. That's my job, is to play this game all the time. So yeah, it's been a process. There's another one of your favorite bills.
Was there any part of the process that really frustrated you? Was there any moment where you were like, you know what, I got to kill this project. It's killing me. Like
I feel that every day. No. To be honest, like every moment has had their pluses and minuses. Like you get into a space where, especially in pre-production, where the possibilities are endless. You have no idea what could happen. Then you get into the process of actual production where you have to make things and it's like, okay, now we're moving in this direction. It's really hard to change. And then you get into the process of actually having to make cuts. And normally that's like the most difficult part, but it's like being an editor and editing a film down from like 3 hours to 1.5. And it's like, you know, because you want to convey and tell the story. And that has been pretty tough. But at the same time, it's also been, you know, an enjoyable process because you then begin also refining what is it that makes the game special, you know, and what is it that kind of services the game. So yeah, man, like I think in regards to the process, like each and every sort of space has had their pluses and minuses, man.
Wow, I love it.
It's funny because it's one of those ones where I think a lot of people find, like, you know, they can find each process, like each space, like really, really hard. But I guess because also I'm quite used to the film and TV aspect of just being completely brutal, like cutting, and like, you know, kind of getting used to the idea that you might not make a scene or you just have to move on. Like you kind of have to adapt that element of it all as a whole.
Missed something up there. Yeah. I mean that is really important. I mean, it's something that So when we're doing the Glass Cannon podcast, there's I cut together, Francis and I work together to cut the teases, right? Which is like what you're pulling from episodes to just highlight what happened previously. You know, that's important. And the editing and cutting of what actually makes it in there, because you're cutting an hour and a half show down to 1 to 2 minutes, is really intense, and you can't be precious about stuff. And I learned a lot about that when I was in college doing story editing. It's like boiling down, like what is essential, not just fun, but essential. You know, and
that's key, right?
Yeah.
That's really key. I've got a few questions here as well. I've got one here, which is, what has been the most rewarding part of the process by Dangerbox? I'd say actually seeing it come to fruition. That's
for real. To see this is a beautiful product. I mean,
the thing is the fact that it was in my head, and then suddenly, like, now it's here. It's very weird, man. It's like a very surreal feeling. So yeah, you've just gotten abilities. These are ability statues that will be dotted around the world as well.
Wearing the moon mask, hold LT and use L. Hold LT. Okay, so that's how we aimed before. Use L to aim, press RT to launch Bamba Stone, freezing enemies, or moving water. Very cool.
I feel different.
Hadithia Bamba. The tale tells us his legend.
Kenzera. Is this a fictional land?
Yeah,
that
fictional land that I conjured. Again, that's what's really weird, man. I came up with the name and it stuck, and now everyone knows it.
Yeah, right. Like, that's got to be so weird. You're like, get out of my head, whole world. Like,
long ago, the villages surrounding
wow,
Ikataramba
interesting.
were at the
It's a
mercy
great
of
name.
raging floods.
It's a good name.
Thanks, man.
It was
Thank
Bamba,
you.
a young shaman, who would quell the water's rage.
Long ago, villages surrounding Ikataramba were at the mercy of raging.
Bamba took a small stone, imbued it with the power of the moon, and threw the stone from the
Is this from actual folklore?
No, this is a story that I conjured and made.
That's great.
So fast that it solidified the waters. It allowed the people to now.
That's so
the
good.
shaman shrine means to imbue you with your predecessor's power. Bamba Stone. What is funny?
Love the reaction.
Sorry.
You're making fun of your own story.
Literally, like.
So what about the writing? Did you do a lot of the writing? Or?
Yeah, it was me and my best mate from school, man. So my best mate, Dom Hodge, we had been writing together since we were like 13, like 12, 13, and we essentially were like, I remember the feeling of bringing him on board on this and being like, dude, we've got to write this, we've got to tell the story, because he knew my dad as well, so it was really incredibly personal, like going on that journey with him and kind of writing this whole thing with him as well.
I already forgot what button throws the stone. Press LT and RT. Okay.
See, and that's why we have prompts.
All right, so can I freeze the waterfall and then jump up it? Yeah, that's dope. Love a good wall jump. Don't you just love a good wall jump, Abu?
No, man, I love it. I love it.
So I just got my new moon power. Which, how do I, oh, I see the bar now. It's, oh my god, it's like reloading in Returnal. I was just playing Returnal. I don't know if you ever played that.
I love Returnal.
Oh, I just streamed it on this about a month ago. I started. It was so good.
Returnal, man.
Yeah, so this is like the reload. I gotta learn the timing.
Yeah, you gotta hit it right. But when you do, it feels good.
Too busy watching that and not watching the enemies. There we go.
Nice.
Oh, and it's powered up now.
Fire should be doubled, but it's only there for a certain period of time.
Got it. So use it or lose it.
Yeah.
Oh no! Took too many hits there. Wrong button. I like that dude. All right, I gotta get out of here. I gotta use my new.
Nice. Oh, nice. Yes!
Oh, and again, dude. I did it again. Oh, no. Gotta heal. Gotta heal.
Oh, good shot, man.
Oh man, that was so much fun. So I want to look ahead here. In the demo, like, is there enough time for me to get more skill ranks in my tree?
Kind of like, no, that's it, man. I mean, like, you could potentially wait and keep attacking enemies, but that's just grinding and takes long. But
yeah,
in the demo, we kind of wanted to give you like a taster. You know what I mean? So that's the idea of it.
All right, great. Well, I'm glad I did one sun and one moon then, just to kind of feel
yeah, it's good, man. It's really good.
Oh, shit. Left or right? Did I already go this way? Is there a map? Oh, no map in the demo?
No, map is currently under construction.
Wait. I feel like I'm going backwards. All right.
That's the point.
Yeah. A little lost. Yeah, back to this shrine. Interesting. Oh, escape the caverns. Right. Okay. Oh, I see what happened. That was me escaping. All right, I got it. All right, just relax. Ooh. So how long does it stay frozen? It seemed to be perfect last time. Oh, all right. So it does have an actual time limit.
Yeah, it does have a timer. All
right, great. But now I'm already up here, and I can. I mean, this is so. That freeze move is so cool.
It was like one of the first abilities that we came up with as well. This idea of freezing water, being able to use it as something to climb.
As a new platform. And you know what I didn't do is it a limit? How limited is the resource?
It's 3. So
I see it.
Moment,
I see it charging at the bottom. That is gorgeous interface now.
What's funny though is like, so here's like another little thing, right? Like, that's actually a bug. The fact that you come out of aim as soon as you fire. Really, truly, you're supposed to be, if you hold aim and fire, you can fire the 3 shots quite fast.
Oh.
But again, it's one of those small bugs that you don't necessarily realize until you do it. And you're like, how did this come about? And then you end up, you know, it's quite a simple fix. But this is the thing about game dev that you just don't realize is like how like nitty gritty everything is.
This is where I said I wanted to get up to before. Perfect. Yeah, and this is a perfect like Metroidvania example, right? You see an area, you're like, how do I get up there? And you try a bunch of times, you can't get there, and then 3 minutes later, you get an ability that lets you get up there. So yeah, perfect design. What is give us some of your favorites in terms of the Metroidvania genre? Like, what are some of your all-time favorites?
Oh man, Ori and the Blind Forest is brutal but brilliant.
I never played that.
Oh, so good, dude.
I gotta write that
Ori and
down.
the Blind Forest.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Like Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
I know Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I never played it. It's on my wish list.
Oh man, it's so good. It is so good. Yeah, cool. Will of the Wisps is like definitely, it's like definitely one of those ones where, it feels majestic and beautiful, but Blind Forest is brutal. But it feels good when you do it, right?
Is that the first one?
Yeah. Blind Forest is the first, and then I would say the other one is Control. Control is a great Metroidvania.
I didn't realize another one that's on my wish list I didn't know was Metroidvania.
Yeah. Control is a great Metroidvania. I really like Control. I would say also. I mean, Dead Cells is more of a roguelite than Metroidvania, even though it has Metroidvania elements.
Interesting.
Let me think of another one.
How do I get through here?
Owlboy is pretty nice. That's pretty cool. It's very niche, very kind of small game. I mean, there's quite a few out there. Axiom Verge is really dope. That's a really cool game as well. Very classic kind of feel. Oh man. So this is the thing, right? So in future you'll be able to because those Tokolosh, they explode. So in future when you unlock the grab ability, you'll be able to kind of attack them, get them to the exploding point, grab them, and then throw them.
Oh, cool. Dope. Okay.
My Baba will have a shrine, as will I.
Yeah, you know
when
it.
I bring him back, they will tell
Hollow Knight is also really good. That was
I did play Hollow Knight. That's a great one.
Yeah, that's a good game.
I am focusing.
Took me a while to get into. It's so dark.
It is.
Like it's just scary, and yeah, but after a while, you're like, actually, this is really cool.
Oh, we're still escaping the caverns here.
You're doing very well. You are absolutely tearing through this.
Well, you know, I just streamed for 2 weeks in a row the new Prince of Persia. And that one is great.
Isn't it great?
It's so good. And so I am
beautiful.
I'm in the zone right now with light attack combos and, you know, dashing and all that stuff.
Nice.
Wait, I did this. I'm going to escape the caverns. We're focused on getting up and out.
Actually, you want to know something really funny? Go back.
Okay.
So keep going. So here's something about cutting, right? I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you this, but I will anyway, because it's my game. Keep going.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, keep going. See that statue in the back there?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be one of the bosses.
Really?
Yeah. And what we ended up realizing was like we had way too much. And Michaela Dawn, who's a brilliant artist, she was at the studio for a while, for a very long time actually. You know, I don't know whether it was her or it was someone in the team, but basically I remember she pointed out that this, you know, we reused this fish and essentially it got moved into the back end. I'm like, great, at least the boss never died. So yeah, that was
that is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Those insights are awesome. So tell me a little more.
Oh, Michaela's here.
Yeah, I cited Michaela Dawn as like a question asker earlier. I had no idea. Like,
no, she's here. Oh wow.
Yeah, I saw her say R.I.P. that whole level. That's when I was like, oh, I guess she knows more than we do.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, we have a water level.
Well, it's awesome, Michaela. Thank you for coming by. This is a phenomenal experience. So let's talk about the team. How many people does it take to do this?
I mean, we're now at like around sort of 30.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm an idiot. Sorry. I can't freeze it while I'm in the water. Oh, wait. I have no... Oh, I have to be in lunar. That's right. All right. Now let me see if I can do it while I'm in the water. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, so we're about 30, sort of 35 people, essentially, who kind of conjured this. But, you know, I started by approaching artists in... one artist, actually, in Nigeria called Godwin, to get some concept art. And then there's another one called Ibrahim as well, to kind of get the concept art down and everything. And we started really small. It was like a small team of like, oh, man.
So close.
Yeah, small team of like 5 people, and then essentially we've grown and grown and grown, and now we're, you know, around sort of 30, 32, 34, I think, and yeah, this is essentially where we are now, man.
Oh, I did it again. This is fun, though. This is hard, but this is very fun. Timing those triggers with the jumps is really cool. Oh, this is still frozen. Oh, no, just unfrozen. Oh, okay. All right, very cool puzzle here. Well, not puzzle, but just
that was
demanding.
Part of the element of that.
Oh, I got a dash. That's what I got to do. I got a dash at the end of that. I got this.
Oh, nice one, man.
Yeah, a little practice there on the dash, and then
boom.
Got it. I mean,
good on the double jump
I'm
as
glad
well.
that you're showing off this. Ooh. Oh, it's gonna. Oh, I can't get that. The wall jump seems a little funky sometimes.
Yeah.
But, have you?
Yeah, it's something that we're working on as well.
Okay.
It's one of those ones where the not necessarily the stickiness, but it's like one of those things that you got to kind of learn to get right. And it's so hard, man. Like
a lot harder than it looks, right? To like actually make it. Yeah.
Yeah. But what people don't know as well is like you can double jump and gain more height on the actual wall jumping. But that was very well done.
Oh, I did get another skill rank. Darn it.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'm excited, but I so basically because you need 2 to get to the second level. So I was like, do I wait for Solar Quake?
Oh, it's so good, man.
Well, I'll just have to do that on my next playthrough. You know, that's what makes it fun. All right, let's go.
Nice.
I got to follow this girl. Oh,
and that's
nice. And that's it. Oh, phenomenal. Returning to menu in 1. Oh, okay. So I would have gotten that second ability and wouldn't have been able to do anything with it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Wow. All right. So that is about an hour demo. About an hour demo.
About an hour. Yeah. 40 minutes, hour. Yeah. And it's like it's enough to kind of get people excited for it, you know. And I think like for me, it was really important to just give enough to sort of build some trust, but also not give too much because, you know, we're still building it. You know, we're still a very small team, and you know, we want to make sure that the experience is good. But actually getting feedback and the feelings of it all has been really, really useful, because it's, you know, getting people hands-on. You get to see, okay, this is what people are thinking. This is what people are playing. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's been a real interesting sort of evolution of it all, man. Like, yeah.
I mean, it's just, yeah, it's amazing to think about you. All right, so filming Raised by Wolves, how long ago is that? How long ago did that first idea come into your head till like this demo being released?
Like 4 years. Four
years. Wow.
Yeah, 4 years, man. 4 years since I was like, this idea came into my head, and we're here now. 4 years, and like like it's kind of surreal to think like, yeah, it's been 4 years, yet it feels like yesterday. Like I can genuinely remember playing Dead Cells on the sofa that I was at in South Africa, and being like, I want to make a game about like grief. And I just remember the feeling of it all. And now that we're here, it's like, holy crap, like this is serious.
Yeah, that's really, really cool to be able to you know, have, because a lot of times I think, you know, everybody experiences grief differently, but I think for myself, when I've been in those positions, I need something to do, right? Like something to work on to address it. And I think this is a really great way to do that. Whatchamacallit, somebody said, sorry, I just wanted to go back and chat. Somebody was like, oh, Panda Burr was like, decently long demo, not gonna lie. So how does that, how do you decide how long the demo is or needs to be effective to sell the game?
So funnily enough, for us, what was really, okay, so this section that you have just played through is the exact same section that we had sort of, like to a degree, we'd built for EA to play and get an idea of what essentially the game is going to be like. So it was almost like our vertical slice, or like our beautiful corner in a way. Mainly vertical slice. So you kind of get an idea or a gauge of like, okay, cool, you gain an ability, you got a taste of that, you got a taste of the trinket, you got a taste of the skills, like, and that kind of loop in itself is going to be what you're going to be experiencing, of course, and more later on in the game, but you get an idea of the bulk of it. So that's really sort of what we felt was enough. Plus, also, you know, you don't want to give too much away, because otherwise, of course, people feel like, oh yeah, I've basically played the game. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, I agree with you, and I really like. I'm going to jump ahead here, but I really like the cliffhanger too. There's an element to it. It's a very simple thing. It's a very small thing, but it leaves me being like, where's that little girl? You know what I mean? Like it leaves you being like, I want to get this game to find out who she is. Yeah. And where she went, right? So that's a cool element. But
it's storytelling, right, man? It's like, it's one of those ones where it's like you got to treat it almost as like an episode of TV, in the sense of like, yeah, you watched the first episode, you want to know more now, but you got to wait.
You got to leave him with a cliffy, right?
Yeah, got to leave him with something, man, and that's the thing.
Exactly. And what else was I gonna say? Okay. The other thing that I like that you said is, I think a big part of these kind of games, when you're not in the physical gameplay, is what do the menus look like, right? Like how do I apply trinkets? What does the codex look like? All that stuff. Yeah. And to give everyone a taste of all that, minus one thing, which is the map. But to give them a taste of everything else in the demo, great idea, great design.
It's important to, I think, because again, it's like, I think many a time, especially with games, right? And games is an interesting one because, you know, with film and TV, a lot of the time you're watching it and you are, you know, you're experiencing essentially something that's a passive medium. You know, when you see a trailer, you're like, okay, I kind of get an idea of what I'm going to get because I'm not going to be able to play it. Of course, when I watch the final product, it's going to be different. With a game, though, you got to kind of feel hands-on. I mean, like, I feel like there's been a real resurgence of like things like early access or even demos because
I mean, early access is like everywhere. Games are in early access for like 5 years now. It's wild.
Well, this is it, right? It's because you've got to get a feel of what it is. And also, really, truly, games are built for audiences. They're built for the players. And I think you've got to get them engaged. You've got to get them their feedback on it. Because otherwise, why are you doing it? You know, and I think like
Right.
that is, you know, really crucial and important is ensuring that people feel like, not that they are part of the process, but to a degree, yes, but also just, you know, you're giving them something that they'll enjoy, you know, and I think like that's been the real fun process of this. There's almost like an element of interactivity that you have with players, especially through this way.
Yeah. How does that work, the interactivity? Oh, before I ask that, I want to ask a question from chat, which was,
oh yeah, sure.
Is there any demo? New Rudin asked, can we get a demo on consoles? Or is it only available on Steam?
Yeah, so at the moment it's only available on Steam just because the consoles is another beast that I think that we would really struggle to do, especially so like late in development. Again, like this wasn't planned. This was one of those ones where we were just like, look, we want to participate in Steam Next Fest because I remember, you know, getting involved in Steam Next Fest as a player, and I was like, this would be really cool to kind of get people to play it. You know, a lot of this genre is very much played a lot of the time on PC, or you know, or even like now with the Steam Deck or the Switch. But like, yeah, so really to get the demo on console will require quite a lot of work. And I mean, like, we're still sort of investigating, but yeah, at the moment it's just looking like, hey, let's just, you know, see what it's like on Steam first and then see, you know, what we can do in the future.
We're going to be here with Abu for a few more minutes. If anybody else has questions for him, please put it in chat. Jim with 2 N's, friend of the show, asks, is there anything you brought in specifically from your experience in doing games like Assassin's Creed and Stray Gods?
Good question. I would say when I was working on Stray Gods, the enjoyment that and the passion that I felt from the devs and just the people around was something that I really wanted to bring in to essentially the studio, right? And it all, especially, and even with Assassin's Creed, I remember the first time actually doing Assassin's Creed was the first video game job I did, and it was the first time I actually realized that you could actually have a career in games. You know, I never knew that this was a thing, even though I played them all the time. I used to always think that you'd put like a CD in like a PlayStation and like Gremlins inside would make something happen. Like,
Right.
I had no idea.
You don't think about it when you're a kid. You just play.
You really
right?
don't.
Yeah.
You really don't. And so, like, for me, it was really, truly the act of being in an environment that people actually genuinely love making games and building games and that. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is what I want to do. And so I tried to bring that kind of joy into essentially this. Yeah, the culture of it all, man. Because at the end of the day, like, companies are people, and you know, they're the ones who are. And like, I love the team. Like, they're so good and they're so brilliant in regards to just. It's just fun, and you got it, and that fun hopefully is then, you know, reflective in the work that you bring. And I think you could tell that even like on film and TV, right? You can see when someone's not having fun, you know. Like even actually taking part in Haunted City, like every episode is fun, and like it's so good. And I think that's why it's so enjoyed, right? Is because people can see that we're having fun.
Yeah, you don't get the sense that Josephine is like, ugh.
Do you know what I mean?
Another
Like,
Blade session. Like
exactly.
the passion is there, and it has to be because, I mean, something like this. Hearing you talk about what goes into it, it gives me a whole new appreciation for, you know, something as simple as how high does the double jump start, how long does the jump go, how many little flickering particles burst off of you when you do a flip in Lunar Mask. Like, those little things have to be decided on, crafted, made, and like that work's just going to be a pain in the ass if you're not passionate about the project, right?
That's it.
So you have to want to do it.
Yeah. It's so important. It's so crucial, and there is definitely an element of love for it that you need to bring. That otherwise again, you just got to ask yourself, why are you doing it? You know.
Yeah. How about let's go to this is from Vagrant of the Scarlet Cage. As a relatively new papa, how has juggling both raising a child and a passion project like ZAU been for you? And any advice you would give to someone who's trying to do both worlds at once?
Oh man, you know what? There is something amazing that having a child is sort of brought to me, in the sense that like a mate of mine put it so well, like your life ends up not necessarily becoming about like the goals that you see in front. It becomes, you know, like it almost flips and turns into like depth, like the amount of depth being a dad is like sort of brought to my life has changed so much about this project in regards to like really, you know, looking at it from different perspectives, not only as being like, you know, someone who's experienced grief from the side of a child, but the idea of also going into that mentality of like, I now have a child, you know, and they're dependent on me, but at the same time they are also their own being. And it's just that level in itself of and what that brings to not only like the story, but also how you approach the design, the feel of it, the pace of it has honestly evolved this game. Like I remember so clearly, like after having Syra, our daughter, I remember talking to Dom and being like, dude, this part of the story has just clicked. Like, and it's actually the first section that you kind of go through, and it just made sense. And I was like, okay, interesting. Let's just infuse this within this sort of space. And yeah, man, it really evolved that. And I'd say like juggling both. It's funny. I think I've always been of the mentality of like, you've just got to do what you love, but also spend, you know, the time that you spend as much time as you can with your loved ones, because I think that's where you get the fuel from. You know, I think like, yeah, I remember for a while I used to always believe like, no, I've got to keep working, keep striving, keep pushing, and you kind of go to burnout. And I think I found myself the most effective when I've just spent some really good quality time with family and just really kind of focused on them. And I'm able to come back with ideas and thoughts that never even came to me, but it's because I just let myself be vulnerable, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. What about, I don't know if I asked this during the thing or if you said it, I apologize. I was playing an amazing video game at the time. What is the team mostly in the UK? Are you guys all remote? So, like, do you get together in person?
We're remote, man. We have meetups. We literally had a meetup recently last year, the summer party. But yeah, we are all remote based. It was essentially about being, again, like adaptive and creative. It's funny, we were always going to be a remote studio, then COVID hit and we were like, well, we've got to be a remote studio.
Right. So, now it's not a choice.
But the beauty of it is the fact that you can work with all these talents from all over the world. So, you know, as I said, like you've got an artist in Botswana at the moment, in Nigeria, we've got people in Canada, in New York, we've got people everywhere around the world building this game. And that is dope, man, because it's like,
so cool.
It just gives you so many different perspectives and gives you access to that, which, not to say that working in an office wouldn't, but it just opens so much possibility.
Sure. I mean, I'm sure you'd all love to work in an office if you could all step through a teleporter in your house and be in an office. I mean. But you need people that are living in other parts of the world and other cultures every day, and it just inspires. Yeah.
This is it, man. Like it really, and it just brings another level of just of warmth and grace to the whole project, because you are literally like playing with people from across the world, and that's what games are, right? It's like they're built to connect people from all these different spaces.
Yeah. So let's get out of this like beautiful, nice area. Let's get into like filthy capitalism. How do you? Sorry, I just got to ask these questions because this stuff it's like a needle in my brain. I need to know like. How do you price a product like this? You know what I mean? Like, how do you decide what a video game costs after all this love is put into it? You know, how do you sell it to people? How do you define a price point? Because I see video games now are at all different price levels, right? There isn't like there's no standard, it feels like. So how do you do it?
I mean, I'll be honest, man. Like, I think, you know, for us, I think, and again, this is like part and parcel of why I formed this company, you know, of Surgeon Studios, is like, you've got to not only respect the developer, but you've got to also respect the players and the audience. And like, for me, it was like, okay, put it this way. Last year, we had so many good games, right? We had like Baldur's Gate 3, we had you know, Alan Wake 2, we had, you know, Lost Kingdom of Zelda, like with so many games.
Elden Ring was last year, wasn't it?
Elden
like
Ring,
the beginning,
like, you know what I mean?
beginning of the year.
But, and they're quite expensive, right? They're quite like, yeah, they're pretty chunky for anyone, like even for me, right, to buy. And so in my head, and especially with the fact that, you know, we were going through such a financial crisis as well, like for me, it was like, why do I want to price something at a point where I feel like I'm robbing you blind? Whereas actually, I would rather have you experience this for the price of a pizza. That's essentially what kind of went through my mind. I was like, if I'm thinking about this, you know, everyone buys pizza. You want to buy a pizza, you know, you enjoy the pizza, and it's a good pizza. And sometimes you feel like if that pizza's really freaking good, like you're like, yeah, man, I would pay $20 again for that pizza.
Right.
And so I was like, the game's going to be $20. It's going to be like a pizza. So I was just like, and because it's true, it's important, man. It's like, I think it's important to create something that is accessible for as many people as possible, but also at the same time, it feels like, hell, yeah, rob us, man. Take it. You know, it's for you to enjoy. And I think like that's sort of where I'm leading with in regards to when it comes to pricing products or even that element. It's like, to me, it's like, if you can play it, if you can access it, like that's a win. If it's something that, you know, you're going to have to debate whether either you're going to take your family out for a meal or you're going to have to buy this game, you know, take your family out for a meal. You know what I mean? Right. So, unless it's pizza, okay? You can have pizza at home.
Unless it's pizza.
As well as ZAU.
Right. Oh, man. That's great. What about pre-orders? Is that like a high-level decision, or does everybody just do pre-orders? Like,
so this is it again, it's one of those ones where I think I kind of led in with the idea of, you know, for me, what pre-orders kind of represent, especially to like indie studios and small spaces, is like, it's kind of showing a way of like, I want to give you something that's worth you investing and trusting us that we're going to deliver to you a game that you haven't even, you know, played fully yet. And it helps so much. Like, it's one of those ones where I think a lot of people have been burnt by pre-orders. I mean, I know I have, when you've kind of pre-ordered a game and then it doesn't come out till like ages, and then, you know, and it's all that part of the process. But when you do it right, when actual studios do it right in regards to like planning it and being like, hey, look, we're putting this on pre-order with these offers going on, what it does is it's really effective and powerful to show the team that, hey, we're here and we believe in your vision. We're gonna put something down for you guys to keep doing what you're doing. And again, like, don't get me wrong, I totally understand like why some people wouldn't do it and why people would wait until like the reviews come out, or they just wish list, you know. And even wish lists are powerful, right? Like, they also do make an impact. But there's something about a pre-order, and especially when it comes to you know, even like the relationship with like the publisher, where it's like, hey guys, look, we're doing this and it's working and it's cool and people think it's great. And it honestly, man, like it especially for us, and I can only speak for us because you know, this is only our game and our company and our sort of experience. The impact it just has morally, and just it just means like, okay, people actually want to hear this story. And especially when it's so vulnerable like this, and it's like our first game, it's like it's like a fuel in itself, man. Fuel in itself.
That's awesome. So a couple more game questions, then we'll get out of here. We'll let you go. How ballpark do you define how long this game is in hours? Like, you know, do you have a sense you're like, it's about a 40-hour experience or a 30-hour experience?
I would say, the game right now is coming to about, you know, sort of 8 to 10 hours on the crit path kind of thing. That's it. And really the way you design with the idea of how long a game is going to be.
So at the beginning, you kind of decide that when you...
kind of to a degree. Like, I think you've got, you know, it's good to have an idea, because you ultimately, you know, it's kind of like writing a script, right? You've got to kind of keep it within certain pages, because you know how long the thing is going to be. You don't want to make like an hour and a half TV show, then the next, you know, episode is like 30 minutes. Otherwise it'll feel inconsistent. And I think, like, for us, it was really important to kind of have an idea of what would feel like a really good time frame of an experience to give to the player. Also, taking into consideration that price point and making sure that they feel like, yeah, I would do that. And so this was something that we really wanted. Again, it's respecting people's time. Like, I know for a fact that I struggle to find, for example, now 30 to 50 hours to play a game, you know, because I got a baby. So it's like,
a 50-hour game is like now like 2 months for me, basically.
Like, literally, it takes ages. And but even like just in life in general, there are so many cool games out there as well. So it's like, okay, make a decent experience that, you know, people can consume and enjoy, and feel like they feel happy with it. And then if they want to come back, they can come back for more for it. You know, some of the best TV out there are miniseries. And so, like, you know, that to me is essentially the mentality is where we wanted to come at it. You know, we don't want to abuse your time, but we want to make you come back for more. So it's like, that is essentially, and tell you a good story in that time. And besides, I've played many a game where it's been like God knows how many hours, and I've forgotten what I was doing like at the beginning, and like my objective. And it's like, yeah, because it's hard to retain that kind of story element of it all, unless of course the game is designed in a way that allows you to just kind of explore and pour in these hours into it.
Yeah, it's great that you think about that. It never occurred to me that would be one of the first decisions you make as you set off on the journey, is like, how large do we want this game to be? Yeah, well, but that's how you approached it. And you also teased my last question, which is, and this I saw this in chat as well, is this Tales of Kenzera ZAU. I mean, I know this game is not even coming out until April 23rd, but like, is the naming of it makes you think that there's going to be more Tales from Kenzera that are not ZAU. Is that the idea behind Surgent right now? Dude, is that how you're thinking?
Like, yeah, man. I grew up with Star Wars, Pokemon, freaking like, you know, Discworld, like Lord of the Rings. If I had the opportunity to build a universe, I was definitely gonna do it. And so, like, for me, Tales of Kenzera ZAU is just one small sort of gateway into this massive universe that I want to tell across film, TV, games, comics, like podcasts, theater. Like, it's to me, again, it's the celebration of storytelling from that sort of perspective of African and Bantu cosmology, mythology. And so sort of, you know, this is just a taste of that and where I wanted to go with it. I mean, like, again, man, like, it was one of those ones where, I mean, I fell in love with Arcane, for example, as a TV show. I had no idea what League of Legends, I mean, I knew what it was, but I didn't really care much for it. I watched Arcane and I'm like obsessed with now League of Legends. Like, it's like, it's just, and that is the power, I think, of these really cool worlds, these storytelling worlds, like even like Cyberpunk with Edge Runners on TV, and like watching that, it made me fall back in love with Cyberpunk, and that's essentially the kind of worlds that I'm really interested in building and sort of creating. So yeah, this is the beginning, man. It's really the beginning. Oh,
we love hearing that. We love hearing that. You're getting just so much love in chat, and thank you to everybody for coming out and watching us live and hanging with us. Dangerbox says, I think I speak for everyone when I say, shut up and take my money. And of course, your good buddy Skid writes in very simply, I bought this thing weeks ago.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. Honestly. Thank you.
So yeah, thank you so much to everybody for hanging out. It has been it's been an honor, Abu. Thank you for taking the time and hanging. This demo was awesome. It's got me so excited to play it again and spend my skill points differently. And I'm looking forward to the release, which will be April 23rd. So pre-order it if you want. It's less than the cost of a pizza. I was going to say slice of pizza. It's more than a slice of pizza. But it's the cost of a pizza. So go ahead and check out Tales of Kenzera. Pre-order it on Steam. It's coming to consoles as well. It's going to be a phenomenal game. You can just tell all the love and heart and soul that's been put into it, and we're excited for it. So thank you, Abu. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out, and we'll see you again soon.
See you soon.